fine, but lay out the structure. I'm not sure what has taken this so long, but what we'll do is we'll write, okay, homepage, right? Because you know what your homepage is about. This is going to be a branded search term, right? So know your keywords. This is the first thing, like picking the right keywords. Homepage is about brand. So this is branded. Whatever your brand is, that's what the homepage is about. So then you're going to have your locations. All right, so you're probably going to have your locations. If you're doing multiple locations, I would suggest building out location-based service pages. But let's say you have your locations. I wouldn't name it locations, but you could have one page that's called maybe near me or just locations, whatever you want. It's completely up to you, where you'll list out the locations that you want to perform in. Then you're going to have your services, okay? Then you're going to have your portfolio, or maybe you're going to have the about, right? But you want to choose keywords that are actually getting volume. So if it's about us, what are you, a plumber? How about maybe facts about plumber, right? Maybe that's a search term. So picking the right keywords is essential. Mapping it out is essential. And here's what I mean by picking the right keywords. Let's say, for instance, that you're a plumber, all right? So if I'm a plumber, you know the services you provide and you know the locations you want to do them in, right? So let's say you're a plumber in Fort Myers, but what we need to determine is, should I do plumber in Fort Myers? Should I do Fort Myers plumber? Should I do Fort Myers plumber? Should I do plumbing in Fort Myers, right? So this is where you're probably going to want a quick tool that you can look at, get a general idea of where the volume is and what the competition is doing. So I generally use, for a quick snapshot, Keywords Everywhere. It's a very inexpensive tool. It gives me an idea of overall volume, and it'll tell me cost per click. So here's what I'll do. So if you know your services, you know you're a plumber. We're going to say the example is going to be plumber. So plumbers do things like, first and foremost, plumbing. So we have to first figure out, well, what keyword should I target? So again, we're going to be a plumber in Fort Myers. Okay, so here's how you'll go about doing this. You could use a tool, but again, I like to look at the SERP. Okay, so we could see plumber in Fort Myers is an 880. So here's the trick here. We need to see, does Google see these keywords as the same thing? And here's what I mean by that. When I search for plumber in Fort Myers, it has 880 volume at $19.60. More importantly, who's number 1, who's number 2, who's number 3, 4, and 5. So you want to take a look at these: Home Advisor, Gator Drain, Angie, Ask Next, and then Yelp. So now let's take a look. So is this the best keyword? So let's take a look. Let's just do Fort Myers plumber. Okay. So again, is it the same results? Does Google see these as the same thing? And if not, is there a difference in volume, right? Volume being the amount of people searching for this on a monthly basis. But more notably, if it's a better volume or a higher cost per click, is the actual SERP changing? Meaning, in the top 5 results, is it the same exact sites? And if the answer is yes, then pick the one that's best for you. Okay. So this process needs to be done each and every time. So I'm looking at Fort Myers plumber. I could see, okay, Fort Myers plumber. So how about plumber Fort Myers? Okay. Again, do we have the same results? Is there a difference in volume? Is there a difference in cost per click? Am I seeing the same results? Now this one's slightly changed. Okay. Now when I'm looking at this is probably the better way to go. Plumber Fort Myers has a site that's like mine. And what I mean by this is, an authoritative sites are not owning the first position. So this means I could potentially get there if I optimize correctly, I build enough backlinks, and I have a good site, right? So this is a site like mine. It's not just Yelp and Home Advisor and Angie's List. There are sites that are like mine in this SERP in the upper positions. So in my opinion, after looking at those 4 variations that we looked at, I really like plumber Fort Myers, okay? But that's only one keyword, right? So what I would do is come over to my sheet and I could see, okay, we have our services. So this is going to be my service-based location page. It's going to be plumber Fort Myers. So that's one service, one page. Every keyword, every SERP is different. The competition's different. The SERP is different. That means the analyzation needs to be different. This is a massive misstep I see owners doing. They'll be like, okay, I'm going to do plumbers, and then they'll duplicate the page and just create it. But if you do other services, that's a new SERP. So here's plumber Fort Myers, and you're a plumber, but you might do drain cleaning, right? Drain clean plumbing. So how about drain cleaning, right? I don't know if that is a service. It sounds like it would be, right? So drain cleaning. So again, I don't like how this looks. You have Angie, you have Ask the Expert. That's a normal site. Home Advisor is a big conglomerate. The Plumbing Plumber, so that's a normal site. So we know probably the best we could do is a 2 or a 4. Okay. The rest of these are pretty big other than number 6. So we have Yelp. This is a normal site. 3 is not. Number 2 looks like a normal site, and number 1 is not. So that might not be the best. So in this case, I might go Fort Myers drain cleaning. So I want to look, is this volume going to change? So that was a 10 volume at $26. So this is a high value keyword. So now I want to look, okay, do the SERPs stay the same and is the volume the same? This keyword isn't worth anything, but the volume's the same, okay? But we're taking a look at the SERP, but the SERP is the same. So we want to go over there, okay? You see what I'm doing? Each SERP is different. Each keyword is different. We need to analyze. You know the services you want to target, and you know the cities you want to target. Maybe you want to do the same thing. Like you're a plumber. Another town that's nearby is Lehigh. So is that still the same? Because most business owners, we found a winner for plumber Fort Myers, and that's where my business. What I want to do is we'll put this inside of Google, right? You want to scroll down to a site that's like yours in the top 5 positions, all right? So this guy's in the first position. He's a site that could be like yours. It's not an Angie's List. It's not a Yelp. It's not a Home Advisor. And so we're going to go to number 4. This is a site that's like yours. Then we're going to go to this site here, okay? This goes with structuring and keyword research and just local SEO in general. So we figured out the keyword, we figured out the page, we know the service and the location. Now we need to take a look and figure out, well, when we're writing this page out, are we just going to willy-nilly just have somebody write a 1,000-word article or a 500-word article? Or are we going to take our previous homepage and just duplicate it and say, okay, now we're a plumber in Fort Myers? No. What we need to do is we need to analyze the top 5 competitors, look for sites that are like yours, and then take a look at the overall word counts. I love, as a quick snapshot, just like Keywords Everywhere, like I showed you before for the quick snapshot of the keyword research, like cost per click and volume. A good way to figure out, okay, well, what kind of page should I write is I use SEO Quake. Okay, this is a free Chrome extension, SEO Quake. It's free. You come over to the top 3 competitors that are sites like yours. You go to the page. You click on SEO Quake. It's a SEMrush free tool. You go to density, because all keyword research tools do things differently, okay? Some count all of the words, some count just the ones inside the body content. So I like this one because it counts everything. And in my opinion, I feel that Google counts anything that's inside the source code. So if it's in the source code, Google's counting it. This is my opinion, okay? Actually, Google counts what's in the render DOM. But we don't need to go that far. This is perfectly fine, okay? So let's take a look at this. So the top competitor has 1,500 words. The next competitor has 933 words. The next competitor after that has 1,735 words. So what I do, and this might get a little bit mathy for you, but what I'll do is I'll take those 3 competitors, 933 plus, let's take a look, 1,735, right? I'll go to 17 plus 1,735 plus 1,536, okay? And that'll equal 4,204. I'll divide it by the 3 sites that are like mine, divided by 3 equals 1,400 words. That's how many words you need to write. Now stick with me here. So this is exactly how I do it. So now that I've determined the keyword, what I'll usually do is up here in this box, like as I'm mapping out the site before we actually send it off to the web designer, I'll put a dash here and I'll put 1,400. So then I know, okay, that's 1,400 words. Now let me give you the tip. This will get you ahead of most people. This is basic 101 stuff, the next thing I'm going to tell you. But once I've determined the right keyword, then I've determined the right word count. The next step is this. This keyword, okay, plumber, Fort Myers, no matter what, at all costs, try to protect this as much as you can. You need to make sure that you get it into 4 places. And this is how you're going to do it. So when you come over here, let me just break this down for you. So on your website, all right, heading tags are not design elements, okay? Make sure you tell your designer this. Listen, those heading tags are for optimization purposes. So here, if you want to jump ahead of most just beginner SEOs, or ahead of most business owners, I should say, here's what you need to make sure. So again, we've determined the keyword that we want to target. We've determined the keyword, the word count, right? We've noted this. This is just one page. This is a lot of work for one page, but if you want to win, you have to do this, okay? So the next thing is this. You want to make sure that you're getting it in the 4 places. 1, you need to make sure that the URL reads how people are searching, okay? So what I mean by this is website.com/Plumber Fort Myers. Done, right? No garble, no jumble. It needs to, the URL is spot number 1, that we need to have the exact keyword, exactly how it's being searched. Number 2, the title of the page. So the title of the page is, you know, that little bubble that's up at the top here? Again, I'm trying to make this for beginners. See this little bubble that's up here? The title of the page. All right, this is the actual title. If you're using WordPress, this is easy to find. The title needs to have that in it, okay? So in this case, it's going to be Plumber. So this is the title, and it's going to be Plumber Fort Myers, okay? And then you usually do a dash and put your brand name, okay? So that's going to be the second place. The third place, again, is whatever is inside that title, whatever you decide to put inside of there. So if you put Plumber Fort Myers, you know, John's Plumbing, that's what you make your H1 tag. H1 then is going to be exactly what you wrote here. Plumber Fort Myers, you know, brand name, okay? Brand name. And now here's the last one, number 4. So that very first spot, it's called an H2 tag. So when you're looking, all right, your H2 tag is, if you're targeting Plumber Fort Myers, your first H2 or your lead H2, you want to put a variation and a nice broad keyword. So a lot of times, like what I mean by broad keyword is another keyword that's a lot broader with a bigger volume. In most cases for local businesses, it's going to be something like this. So if we're looking at this keyword, it's going to be plumbers, okay, Fort Myers, Florida, near me, okay? So it's going to be a variation of the keyword, and you're going to really pack it in there. This is going to be your lead H2. If you get the word count down, find the right keyword, put it inside the website URL, the title, the H1, and then do a nice variation with the broad match in your lead H2, you'll be ahead of most people, all right? Normal business owners is what I'm saying. And this is easy to do. This is something super fast and easy that you can do, all right? Another thing that I want to cover, we'll move into the next tip, is, so far we talked about picking the right keyword, the keyword that makes sense. Number 2 is structuring properly, coming up with the keyword research, you know, your local SEO, like structuring it properly, going through the process of, you know, starting to set up your pages. Number 3 is going to be, and this is a question that I get asked a lot, is finding keywords for a blog, okay? So what's the reason for a blog? And I get this a lot from business owners. They'll say, Chris, you know, I'm a plumber, right? I'm not in the business of content writing. Yeah, but you're in the business of plumbing, and you're in the business of getting traffic to the website that you can convert, right? So how we go about doing it is this. So again, sticking to the first concept or the first idea that I gave you. One page, one keyword. Every single page is different. Google ranks pages, not sites, right? So you've gone through all that optimization. Now we want to start ranking that page higher, our Plumber Fort Myers page, right? So in order to do that, we need to increase the traffic authority, and we want to build links. But this is where it gets tricky in local SEO. But we can never risk our main location page, because that page can't go away. We can't lose the rankings that we've been working on. So what do? Well, this is what you do. You build out your blog, and you're targeting other keywords that are related to the main term. And how do you want to gather those up to create your blog? Let me show you how, okay? And then this is where you build links to that link over to the page that you're trying to rank. But here's how you find the keywords, because this is a local SEO keyword research guide. So here's what I do. What you'll do is, again, we'll stick with the same exact, this is the same thing. Now we're looking at supporting content, our blog, to build traffic authority and build links to so we could power this page. How do we do it? Well, how you do that is like this. So we know our keyword, it's plumber Fort Myers. You come over to Google. Google's your friend in this case. So we're going to go to plumber Fort Myers. And how you do this is you come over to the top performing websites for the main keyword, okay? Because just like there's a link graph, in my opinion, there's a traffic graph. All right. So if you want to build your overall authority to your website and be seen as the authority for plumber Fort Myers, I need to be receiving the same type of traffic that the leading competition is receiving. Just like I need to get the same kind of links that they're receiving to get into the link graph, I want to start generating and getting traffic like they're getting. So how I like to do this is I'll put in my keyword right into Google. I'll open up my favorite keyword research tool and I'll come right over here just like this. We put the keyword in. We could see here, okay, a top performer is this guy. We're going to put in our main keyword. We'll open up his site. We're going to grab it. Okay. We're going to go over to our keyword research tool. Again, in what I use, you can use whatever you want, but I use SEMrush. And we're going to look at that page. And here's what you'll do. You're going to come inside of here. You're going to go to your keyword magic tool, or better yet, your organic research bar. You're going to put in the page that is ranking for the keyword that you want. And every keyword you're going to do this for to create your organic traffic. So what you'll do is you'll put this in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come down here. So top organic keywords. You don't have to use SEMrush. You could use whatever you want. Top organic keywords. And then you're going to look at this. So here's our traffic percentage. Okay. Unclogged sink drain. Clogged sink overflow drain. Water pipe fix. Plumbers in my area. So plumbers in my area is more of a, we're going to talk about gap analysis in the next segment. But these are the keywords that you might want to start writing as a blog. Right? So what we want to do is we want to go to the top performers. We picked one. You might want to pick those, those 3 sites that we pulled in before that were like ours that were ranking for the main keyword. We'll pull these in, and anything that's a slight, that's going to be a match, that deserves a standalone page, right? So basically anything that doesn't contain Fort Myers plumbers in it, that could be a standalone page that's a supporting article. Now this accomplishes multiple things. 1, I could build links to this. 2, it'll start increasing my traffic authority. And 3, I can now start linking to that page and other pages. And I can start doing a little bit more link building without running risk of losing my main page. Like plumber Fort Myers is really what I want to rank for. Again, you're a business owner. You're not writing blogs to write blogs. Writing blogs to increase traffic authority and be able to link to the page that you want to rank, right? So what you'll do is you want to start siphoning traffic from the competitor. So anything that doesn't contain the primary keyword, because you don't want to compete with yourself, anything that's not containing the primary key phrase. These are things that you can start writing blogs about, supporting articles. So again, clogged sink overflow drain. This particular keyword is bringing in, we can sort by traffic percentage of this page. Here's 14%, that's the main. TNP, that's probably a brand name. TNP valve. So this particular TNP valve is a brand name, and it's bringing in 8% of the top performers' website. I already know what I'm writing a supporting piece of article for. Nobody would have knew that. TNP valve, supporting piece of content, 500-word article, because he's not winning this keyword based on its own dedicated page. He's winning it because he probably typed it once or twice. But if you build out a 500-word article talking about TNP, guess who's going to start siphoning traffic from the top performer? Your site. And it's highly relevant traffic. You're inside the traffic graph now. I hope this makes sense to you. This is how you'll start building out your blog. You want to start taking it from the leading competition for the primary keywords that you want to win. This guy's winning plumbers Fort Myers, but he's not just winning plumbers Fort Myers. He's also winning because of these pages, right? He's got these keywords in here. 11% of his traffic is coming from TNP. Another 8% is TNP valve. You could create a TNP valve page and essentially siphon nearly 20% of the top performers' traffic away from him. If you start getting the traffic instead of him, who's going to rank better for the keyword that you really want to win, which is plumber Fort Myers? You. So I just want to point that out to you. This is how you start developing your supporting article / blog content strategy. It's based on whoever's winning and who's winning the terms. What keywords are they also bringing in? You build out a dedicated page, you siphon the traffic from them. So let's move into the next tip. So increase traffic of pages. Now, again, sticking on the same topic, and this doesn't have to be plumbers. This could be any keyword, right? And this type of strategies that I'm walking you through, it could be for anything. It doesn't even have to just be for local. I get these questions quite frequently like, hey, Chris, but what if I'm doing this or what if I'm doing that? The strategies are basically the same. The only thing with local is there's geo modifiers, right? It's modified keywords. That's really it. And then you usually have to build less links. But let's stay on topic here. Increase the traffic of pages that are already doing well, right? I get this a lot. So let's go back to our example here. So again, we've gone out, we've done our keyword research, we've created our page, it's starting to rank, we've started to build links, we have our supporting pieces of content, and this page has been up for 5-6 months, and it's starting to stagnate, right? It's up there, it's not growing, it's might even be on a slight decrease. So what do? Well, here's what you'll do. There's two things here. So what I like to do is, again, let's just say, for instance, that this is your site, okay? Let's say that this is your site and this is your website, which is the page that's ranking for plumber Fort Myers, okay? But let's say that this is your website. So what you'll want to do is you'll take a look down here for stuff that you're already bringing in some traffic for, but you're not ranking very high for, okay? So what I mean by this is if you come inside here, we could see that this page is ranking for more than that one keyword. It's actually bringing in nearly 1,400 key phrases. Let's just make sure here. No, it's root domain, exact URL. Oh, wow, this site's doing, goodness gracious. Let's take a look at this. So what we're looking for is page by page. We can see here, like, let's say it's this page. This is number 3, so this isn't so bad. So here's a number 9, TNP. Okay, I'm just using this as an example. It's ranking number 9. If you go over to the site, 9 times out of 10, you either have it on the page one time or it's not on the page at all, but you're starting to bring in traffic for this term. It could just be a T and a random P and Google started sending you traffic for it. Now, if you're looking at this, and this is the case, which this happens a lot, like you're ranking for these weird words, but they're in weird places, or like you're not even optimized for it, meaning you don't have it multiple times, or it's not in any type of heading tag, or it's not in an alt text, but it's sprinkled within the content, right? If you look at these types of words and you're bringing in traffic and they're ranking low, okay, but you look over and it's got a decent amount of traffic, what you want to do is you have to make a decision. Either build out its own supporting piece of content, or what we generally will like to do is increase the amount of times or the density of that particular phrase or word on the page. Because again, if Google's sending us traffic for that word, then Google thinks we're about that. So if we can add it more times into the page, we'll instantly get a bump. So we'll be able to increase the amount of position rank on this and increase our overall traffic to that page. Another thing that you can do, this is called gap analysis. You can do this more cleverly, but I want to show you the easiest way. And here's another thing you can do. When you're over inside of, there's even like a tab that you could do it, but I want to keep this as simple as possible. You look at your page, you look at what's doing bad, right? To break it down, you look at what's doing bad, like position 9, position 8, and you go over to your page and you're like, hey, I only have this on the page one time. Add it 2 or 3 more times, get the density up, and your position rank will go right up. Because Google already thinks your site's about this. And you can do the same thing with inside of Search Console. So what I mean is, like, if you're inside a Search Console, right? So let's just say you're inside a Google Search Console. I think I have like a test site in here. Google Search Console. So if you're inside a Google Search Console, right? And you're coming over, like, let's just say you're on this, and let me just take a look here at this. So we'll go to performance, right? And we'll just go here. Yeah, let's just keep it with this. We'll go here. Okay. We're going to go to impressions. We're searching the home page or whatever page you want. And what you want to see is is Google sending us impressions for words, okay, that are only on the page once or not at all? So by simply putting in the page up here, whatever page you want to look at, right, put it in there, take a look at the impressions, and then go over to your site and take a look and see, hey, do I have this inside of a heading tag or inside of the content? And if Google's showing it, it could just be, again, pages rank for all kinds of keywords. But if Google's giving you impressions for a particular keyword and it's only on the page once or not at all, get it on the page because you'll go right up for it. So again, you come in here, you put the page that you're looking at or looking to get a little bit of extra juice out of, a little bit of a oomph out of, put that inside of your search console, put that inside of here, and then sort by impressions and take a look. Take a look at the words. Like go to the page and take a look one by one. Like look at, hey, am I getting impressions for something? And then you're looking, you're like, hey, this is kind of weird. And you're looking and it's related. Get that word on the page. You'll rank instantly for it. And then if it's really far off topic, but it's obviously within your niche, if it deserves its own page, build its own page because Google already thinks your site's about it. I hope this makes sense. I hope that this helps you. So basically what we covered today is picking the right keywords, the right keyword variations. 2, we talked about structuring, laying out the pages, doing a quick little analysis of which keywords are best cost per click. Does Google think they're the same keyword? And can I actually rank for this? Like, if it's owned by authority sites, you might want to put a different variation in, right? Don't just base everything off your keyword research tools. Number 3 is finding keywords for a blog. I gave you one of my favorite strategies for doing that. I love going right to the competition, see what they're ranking for that has nothing to do with the main topic and writing dedicated pages for it because they're just winning off of authority. Create that dedicated page, you'll start grabbing from them. And then it's very effective. And number 4 is increasing the traffic of already good performing pages. And this is done by performing what's called gap analysis. Very, very helpful. And I showed you 2 ways to go about doing that. They even have gap analysis. If you take a look inside of SEMrush, they have a standalone tool, but I just wanted to show you the easiest way. You can come right inside of here and just do the straight up gap analysis. I even think Ahrefs has something similar. But in any case, my name's Chris Palmer. If you have any future questions related to local SEO or keyword research or pretty much anything digital marketing or SEO related, never hesitate. Feel free, go ahead and ask in the section below. Don't forget to go ahead and pay us a visit over here if you need any help with anything. And I always look forward to seeing you in the next Keyword Research Local SEO for 2022 video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. All right, cool. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you enjoyed that tonight. And yeah, that was it. Not 100% sure where my screen went. All right, so let's check it out here. So we'll go ahead and welcome everybody that decided to show up. Thank you so much for joining me. First and foremost is Amir. Hey, brother. Hey, back to you, my friend Amir. Good to see you. What's up, Chris? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing very good. Ray the Beast. Good to see you. Amir says, keyword research is the most easier thing ever. The most difficult thing is realizing the on-page strategy optimize on that term that costs the most time. Yes, the on-page optimization does take a bit of time. That's not a lie, my friend. But that's where the gold is. Figuring out the off-page and then the tweaking. That's where that separates the pits from the poodles. You know what I mean? So there you go. Robert Turner says, hey, Chris, thank you for all your great videos. It's my pleasure, Robert. Glad to help. As we move down the list here, we're going to go to SEO Quake Standard Best Brother. Oh, yeah, I love SEO Quake, and it's a SEMrush product. It's a phenomenal tool. It's great looking at density. Look at the source code. It's awesome. There used to be a really cool render DOM viewer that I used to really like for getting, when you're getting into the tweaking, I like to look at that. Again, another nice tool there. Dan Vlaz says, a client just landed a 64,000 sewer replacement job for a large hotel. Cool. Awesome. You always have awesome ideas. Thank you. Good. I'm glad I can help you, my friend. Amir says, very good on-page strategy. It's the structure of work like silos, like hubs, all the structure of creating on-page is recommended. I try to keep my sites flat. Like